A good Erev Shabbos. I'm recording this on Thursday night because the days have gotten a lot shorter. So still Erev Shabbos, so we'll share a Dvar Torah for this upcoming Parshas Chayei that we're going to read together in Shul Be'ezras Hashem. First, I would like to thank the Fishman Mishpacha, the Fishman family, for sponsoring Shalashudas virtually in loving memory of Beverly Turner, Lisa's mother, and may her neshama have an aliyah. She certainly is having an aliyah from their beautiful family, and may her neshama have an aliyah from this particular thought on the parsha. So our parsha begins by telling us, "Vayu Chayei Sarah Mea Shana ve'Esrim Shana ve'Sheva Shana." Right, the years of Sarah's life was 100 years, 20 years, 7 years. Rashi tells us, "Kulam Shavim L'Taiva." All of the years were equally good. They were all equal for goodness. Rashi also tells us, "Bas Kuf K'Bas Chaf." When she was like 100, she was like 20. It's a few interesting Rashis. Okay, often quoted. Well-quoted Rashis. First of all, on the first expression of Rashi, which says Kulam Shavim L'Taiva, that the years of Sarah's life were all good, it's not true. What does that mean? We know the story of Avram and Sarah going down to Mitzrayim, and then you have the story of Avimelech, and you have Sarah who until age 90 didn't have a child. She desperately wanted to have a child. So they weren't Kulam Shavim L'Taiva. It wasn't all equally good. She went through tsaras in her life. She went through difficulties. So what does Rashi mean over here? That the message is Kulam Shavim L'Taiva. So l'chora, it seems we can answer from the Gemara in Brachas, Daf Nun Daled Amud Aleph, also an often quoted Gemara. The Gemara says, Chayav Adam Levarich Al Hara'ah Kishem Shemavarich Al Taiva. A person's obligated to bless for the ra'ah the same way we're obligated to bless for the good. Meaning we have to realize that ultimately everything is for the best. Everything is from the Rabbi Shalom. Okay? And if HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends something our way, that means that it ultimately is good, even though at that time it didn't seem so. And therefore, when Rashi says Kulam Shavim L'Tova, that all of the years of Sarah's life were good, it doesn't necessarily mean it was easy. It doesn't mean it was all the same. She didn't go through tsaras in her life. Sarah certainly went through tsaras. But in Sarah's mind, her greatness was, they were Kulam Shavim L'Tova. She looked back at her life as she was living, and even when she would look in hindsight, and she said, yeah, that was a good year. Even though there was tsaras that year, that was a good year. Kulam Shavim L'Tova. It was all the same for her. And I saw a beautiful remez, a beautiful hint to this. Listen to this. The chapter of Mizmar L'Soda, praising HaKadosh Baruch Hu for all the good that we have in our life. Hariyu L'Hashem Kol Aretz, sing to Hashem. That is Kapitel Kuf. It's Kapitel 100. It's the 100th chapter of Tehillim. The 20th chapter of Tehillim is Yancha Hashem B'Yom Tzara. Kapitel Chaf is that Hashem should answer us on our day of tsaras, on our day of difficulties. By Sarah, when Rashi says Bas Kuf K'Bas Chaf, it can also be hinting to the chapters of Tehillim, that whether Sarah went through something like Kapitel Kuf 100, which everything is great, or whether Sarah was experiencing something Kapitel Chaf, where it was a day of tremendous tsaras. Sarah herself always viewed this as Kulam Shavim L'Taiva. It was all equally good to her, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu was running the show, and she knew everything was for the best. Have a wonderful Shabbos.